What's really great about this system is we didn't have much complexity. It's 3 files only in Google Drive. We have one form, one database file to keep our data, and one user interface sheet. And these are not very complicated themselves. Our user interface is very straightforward with 2 tabs. Our database is pretty straightforward with a list of equipment, the responses from the forms, and then the modified data that we take care of. And this is where the administrators would be checking in and checking out to make sure the equipment was okay. Users never see here, but rather the users just see the user interface here. And they can scroll down and you can see the equipment they can borrow. It can be added to anytime. It will always pick up automatically anything that's added to the list of equipment. And what's cool here is that they don't have to worry about who borrowed before or in the future. It's not a long list. It's not a long paper list. The long list is inside the database over here from the responses. And this you can see is thousands of them already because we've been using it for a number of years. But the user does not have to scroll through that. They won't see that. They're only going to see each individual equipment option, and they can sign it in and sign it out. And then the form. That's really the great part of this system, I think, is the form. Because you can have people in your office, people who are not technical, can update the form at any time. Really keep it error-free, make it better and better, adjust it more and more. You can even add more questions to it if you needed to. The code is very easy to modify and the forms are super easy to make attractive and modify. So let's return to our case study structure, and we are looking at the how. And remember, our how has these 5 steps. Let's just review them very quickly. We've got our data creation, our user interface, the form integration, the data modification and validation, and then the looping back with some updating of the user interface. So these are the details of how we structure it. And I think it's become clear after a few case studies that we're using these tools over and over again. We're using array formula. We're using the query. We can import ranges from different tabs and different documents. We create hyperlinks, and those links go to forms. We have some if logic. We have some text that we can change. We have some data validation like drop-down menus and changing text or maybe changing colors. So these things are the core tools in our toolbox that we use over and over again. We went ahead and we built a system for checking in and checking out equipment, which is super practical and useful. And I think we can just summarize again very quickly what we're doing here, which is kind of using those tools over and over again, which I really like. But people don't know that you can do this. I mean, I think a lot of people know about forms, but do they know that you can use it in this way? Of course, we've got our forms. And the cool thing about forms is this is where the user can input data. That's much better than opening a sheet and asking users to write on a sheet, because they will change things and mess up your formulas and delete things. You can't do that. So we have a kind of pseudo database and a user interface. So the user sees this page here, and this page will draw information, draw data from the database. And of course, the database here can have different tabs. And the input will come from the forms, and it will go into one of those tabs. And then you'll modify that to make it a little bit different, change its order. And then maybe you'll do some logic or make some changes or make some updates. And then that information will go over to the user interface. They will see the newest updated information immediately. And then from the user interface, they can go ahead and they can click a link, and that link is changing depending on the updated information. And that link can then do some pre-filled data in the form, So this is really the cycle, I think we call it, a very nice cycle, and that goes back and forth, or in a nice big circle, I guess we could say. The data gets updated by forms. Users can then see the new data. They can click and they get a new form, and they go ahead and keep on doing that. This is the basis of a simple thing like checking out or checking in equipment, but it also can be an extremely complicated system. For example, later we're going to have a case study of a game, of a role-playing game that has hundreds, if not thousands, of different possibilities and combinations. And this system, though, is at the core. These kind of three parts: a database where you keep information, where you keep data, and you receive updates of information, a user interface that the user sees and can interact with. They can't change anything on it, but they can click on a link, and a link goes to a form, and the form is where they input their information, which goes back to the database. So that's how we go ahead and build it, and then we launch it, and we have users that end up being very happy with what they get. For the example we just looked at, the students and the office, what is it we ended up getting? Our office staff are very happy because they save time and everything becomes trackable. So there's no responsibility of where did things go? What do I do? How do I figure it out? And the students who are the customers here, or the users, they find this very easy to use too. Why? Because they just walk into the office. There's a computer on a desk at the office entrance, and they just go ahead and click, I want to borrow the keys for room 102, and boom, it's done. And then when they return it, they just go ahead and return it. It's also better for the students. Why? Because previously the students could be confused. Where is the equipment? What happened to the equipment? Or the next student who borrows it, hey, how come there's a key missing? Or how come it's supposed to be here, but it's not here? And that person would have a lot of trouble. But now everything is smooth and easy, because we have the online check-in and check-out system. So good luck with trying to do something very applied. It's much easier than it looks once you get a few of these bits together and the core, and you can always use the AI to help you generate some of your cell codes.